Today we're talking about the world's mightiest mortal, Shazam. Welcome to the Oblivion Bar, a safe haven for all DC comic fans. I'm your host, Khalil Hill, and today we're talking about the world's mightiest mortal, Shazam. Right in time for the new movie that just came out April 5th. And also, Geoff Johns just started his new run on Shazam and DC Rebirth. So, Joe, catch us up on where this book picks up at the end of New 52.
So at the end of New 52, you see that Billy Batson got his powers. He's coming into his own. He gave those powers to his family members, his new family members. And so you see the comic pick back up 1 year later. Okay, you see that they all have powers already. They don't really spend a lot of time explaining that. And you see them have a celebration for Billy being in the family for a whole year.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, they're sitting around at the table and talking, but they're also keeping this a huge secret from their parents. Robbie, do you think it's necessary for the kids to keep their powers a secret from their parents?
If I were in their shoes, I wouldn't tell my parents, so I think it makes sense on their end. I think their parents would probably be okay with it at the end of the day, in some extent, maybe less so with Darla since she's younger, but yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, what about you, Joe?
I think it definitely makes sense, but I also want to bring up the fact that which parents would actually believe their kids if they were like, I have superpowers?
Only the ones that say a word and then get struck by lightning.
Fair.
I mean, if Darla said, we have superpowers, they try to be like, oh, yes, sweetie, you got superpowers. But, I mean, their powers run on, family magic, right? So what they would have, like, super parents. I mean, and these two, speaking of pure at heart, the Vasquezes, they're pretty awesome parents. I feel like if they got Shazam family powers, I think it would just make the set. I think it would make the set. So, moving forward, the kids run off to the Rock of Eternity, and while they're there, they coin the name the Shazam Family, and they eventually, Eugene, he finds this subway station that leads them off into the Magiclands, and they see this big map of the Magiclands, and it looks really awesome. So if you just had the names of the different Magiclands and the pictures and whatnot, had no information other than that, which of the Magiclands would you want to venture off to first? Ethan.
I'd probably go to the Game Lands first. That sounds like the coolest to me. Because, could be board games, and that would be cool. It could be video games. That would also be cool. You can't really go wrong with games.
Yeah, I imagined it more like not Game of Thrones, Hunger Games. No, I imagine it as the Hunger Games, and I'm like, that is not the kind of, no, I'm not trying to go into some Hunger Games type of, situation. The lands I wanted to visit most, the first was the Wildlands. It just sounded kind of cool. It didn't sound bad. I mean, wild, I imagine animals, but it doesn't sound like they're going to be awful. I mean, this is almost like a kid's book. They're not going to go into, some murderous woods.
Yeah, there's never murderers in these books.
No.
Well, okay. Weird. Okay, Joe, what land would you go to?
I'm going to have to go with Ethan on this one, Game Lands. I was thinking something along the lines of retro arcade games with just set up everywhere and you can just run around and just play games. That's heaven.
Okay, so clearly y'all don't want to work for a living. You just want to play games all your life.
Yeah.
If we wanted to work for a living, why would we be here?
True. Robbie, which lands would you go to?
We'll just make it 3 for 3 Game Land.
Oh my god, really? All right, y'all stay on that side of the wall. I'll stay over here.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll just kick it with all my animal friends in the Wildlands. I'll find
See,
a
Wildlands,
tiger.
really, I was thinking about the Wild Wild West. That's how that struck me, and I was like,
That didn't make me, I didn't think of that, but I don't even like cowboys like that, so I wouldn't even go there.
I will say, I do want to know what the Woes Underlands, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's laws, something lands. I would be intrigued to go there, probably after the game lands.
See, yeah, no, I would go there if it didn't sound so sketchy. Like, it sounds like someone had too much to drink and misnamed it. But
You're taking a magical train to any of the lands. I feel like all of them are kind of sketchy.
Good point.
So you are in like this abandoned subway.
Well, I mean, and let's talk about where they actually went. I mean,
no, that's not it. Well, yeah, we'll get there. Okay, but before we get there, Joe, tell us what you brought to drink tonight.
okay, so what I brought is probably one of my actual favorites from Alltech. People don't really hear the name Alltech as much unless you're in the Lexington area, but everyone knows the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel something, whatever that is in terms of Kentucky. So what I grabbed today was the Kentucky Vanilla Barrel Cream Ale. It's a cream ale. Thank you, Ethan. It is a cream ale that was aged in bourbon barrels. And it had some vanilla beans actually stripped and dropped down in there as well. And so it picks up those vanilla and oak flavors from the barrel while picking up the vanilla from the beans. And to me, it kind of tastes a little bit like a milkshake.
What do you think about it, Ethan?
It's more like a cream soda to me, but like a Barg's cream soda, it tastes a lot like a Barg's cream soda.
Okay, yeah, it does. I can see that.
I like milkshakes. Clearly, it's brought the boys to the yard.
No.
We're hiring a new host.
It's the first
Apply in
episode.
the comments.
So we get an unexpected visitor to the Vasquez's home. Some guy claiming to be Billy Batson's dad. Now, does Miss Vasquez, like her response to this, is it reasonable? Is it?
I think she has a right to act the way. I mean, that's how I would have reacted probably. I agree. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think that Billy has a right to meet his dad, though, if this is his real dad. Yeah. So I think that's something they're going to have to deal with. But
Yes, I would definitely agree. I don't think that anybody gets to take that away from Billy. I think that's his choice. But still, where you been?
I mean, yes, major question. Where you been? What do you think, Robbie?
I think the suddenness of it was another aspect too, because they had no idea. It's just someone was knocking on their door, and then, oh, by the way, I'm Billy's dad, and then naturally you're going to be, I mean, the response as is, I think, is very justified, especially since they also came from foster homes, and like it's going to strike a note with the Vasquezes for sure. But I also think the fact that they didn't get any warning of it, and he just kind of shows up, and that seems kind of sketchy as is as well. But I definitely agree with Ethan, too, that Billy, if it does boil down to it, has a right to meet his real dad.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Like, I think, yes, she gave a very reasonable response. I mean, I love Mama Vasquez. She is Mama Bear Vasquez. Whenever stuff goes down, she is ready to defend her cubs, and I love it. At the same time, Billy, since we've known him, he's longed for his parents. I mean, you see him in his origin story, how, he has that picture of his parents in his wallet. And he, I think he would be, I don't know how he would react at this point. If he was at the house and he was there and his dad comes in, I don't know how he would react, because he's a year into this and he's a changed Billy. Like, he's really accepting of the family. This is his family. But it does make me think, this seems too sketchy. I personally don't think it's his dad. I don't know where they're going with it, but I don't think it's his dad. I think it's got to have something to do with a certain villain who made a debut in the Shazam movie, Dr. Sivana. But along with that, working in the backgrounds, we have Dr. Sivana and Mr. Mind. Now, these are classic Shazam villains, but do you think that these two can trust each other and work together in the long run? Or do you think that they're going to have their own, nefarious plots internal on it? What do you think, Ethan?
I don't think they're going to be able to work together, but I mean, that's sort of the comparison, right? Because the Shazam family is all about family togetherness. They can work together, trust each other. So obviously the foil to that is going to be Mr. Mind and Sivana, who you can't really trust either of them. One is a sentient worm thing, and the other one is a bald guy. I don't trust bald guys.
Ouch.
Sorry, there goes like half our family. Thank you.
Ooh.
Anyway,
I'd agree with that one right there.
what do you think, Robbie?
They probably understand that they can't trust each other in the long run, and they're just going to try and use each other to their own gain, and they think they can outsmart the other one at the very end if one of them does happen to turn on each other, which I think is going to be inevitable.
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
I'm going to go the other way. I actually think that they could get along and they could work things out because I think that they're both going to use their intelligence to try to come to a mutual understanding of this is what needs to be done, and we can both understand why it needs to be done this way.
Getting back to the Shazam family, being the kids that they are, we know which of the Magiclands they pick, and it is the Funlands. At what point in the Funlands did you think something was wrong?
So immediately when they arrive there, there's that super creepy clown kid.
Yes.
And that was definitely red flag number one. But to be fair, then they emerge from the subway station, and then it's this crazy awesome amusement park. And I probably it was just one creepy clown dude. I just don't like clowns anyway. And then I probably would have been put a little bit more at ease. But definitely the first red flag was creepy clown kid. Easy.
Yeah. What do you think, Ethan?
See, I got bad vibes even before that, because I've never been to a place with fun in the name and actually had fun. So if you name something Funland, it's probably not going to be fun. If it was really fun, you wouldn't have to put it in the name.
When they went up there, I was like, holy crap, I want to go to this place. Because I'm all about roller coasters. I mean, I went to freaking Cedar Point for my birthday, but no, I was right there with you. As soon as I saw the freaky clown, I would have punted that thing. Straight to the field goal. But also, where I thought something was wrong, I mean, you see this, he looked kind of older than everybody else, but he was running away from the kids or something. Leave me alone, get away from me. And,
the one who didn't like cake, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, he didn't like cake. Yeah, that guy didn't
I was like, who doesn't like cake?
Who doesn't like cake?
That's
what the heck?
super weird, yeah.
I don't know. What are you thinking, Joe?
Right now, I'm just thinking about who doesn't like cake, and I will say pie's better.
Wow.
Okay, but you still like cake, though, right?
Still like cake. No, I'll take pie any day of the week.
It kind of took me a while to be turned off from the place.
Really?
Yep, I was kind of like, this place is pretty lit, I'm not going to lie. I just want to run around, eat cotton candy, and have some fun.
Yeah, see, this is exactly why.
This is why I have problems.
You don't need to be in a horror movie ever. You'd be like, oh yeah, we should go on the creepy shed. It looks pretty fun.
I did know that there was
fun on the shed.
It's a fun shed.
I did know that there was going to be a problem as soon as they split up, though, because in horror films, that's what everyone does.
By the end of the book, all of the kids get split up and thrown to different Magiclands. You have Eugene and Pedro that get thrown to the Game Lands. You have Darla and Freddy that get thrown to the Wildlands. And then Billy and Mary are still in the Funlands. So by the end of the book, who do you think is in the most danger? Ethan.
So this is hard because we don't know the rules of either of the newer lands yet, the Game Lands or the Wildlands, but I still feel like Mary might be in the tightest spot right now, just because they figured out she's not a kid, and I feel like that's really, really not good in the Funlands.
Yeah.
I would have to say the Wildlands crew, just so there was the one panel that had everything on Mr. Mind, the open book, and it talked about how, basically he totally screwed over the Wildlands. And it's, not a safe and habitable place at all for anyone who isn't already living there. And I think that's probably going to be the messiest situation just off the top of my head. Because they were immediately yeah, what do we do with him? We can feed him to the tigers. What will we do with every human that we find here?
But you gotta admit, those animals look pretty cute and colored. They're walking on 2 feet. How... Darla's gonna have a freaking awesome time with those animals. You already know she is. I think that they're in a good spot. I was thinking with you, I'm like, King Kid is a freaking nut job. Yeah. So Mary and Billy are screwed. I mean, they're adults, and Billy tried to, go after him, and Kid did away with him pretty easily. So I think they're pretty screwed unless they figure something out. What do you think, Joe?
I definitely think Mary and Billy are probably in the toughest spot. Definitely not based off my other answer. Definitely not the Gamelands. That's going to be awesome. But the other four are stuck in situations that there's a variety of possibilities. Okay, they could talk themselves out of different problems that they might run into because they don't have any background on them. Those lanes don't have background on the individuals. But Mary and Billy are stuck, and they're going to have to fight for their lives.
Yeah, for sure. But that just about wraps up our show today. So if you like what you saw here, make sure you click that little thumbs up. Also, if you want to see more of what we have coming in the future, we post videos every week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell in the corner. Also, leave a comment down below. We want to hear what you think about this book. So until next time, we'll see you guys later.
A large fresh orange juice, please.